Let's talk about Dragon Ball Super Episode 23. Chikyuga Gohan ga Zetai Zetsume Hyakukite Kure Son Goku, which translates to the Earth and Gohan in dire peril. Come quick, Son Goku, as we continue the Revival of F story arc adaptation in Dragon Ball Super. We had a very eventful episode this week, and Vegeta fans are going to find a lot to love about this episode, and Gohan fans may not find a lot to love. So, of course, those of you may remember from last week, if you saw it, or if you saw my review for it, you know that the episode ended with Frieza shooting a death beam toward Gohan. Piccolo got in the way of it, and Piccolo died. We were wondering going into this episode whether or not Piccolo was actually dead, or if he was just extremely injured like he was on Namek, and the case is different here. No, Piccolo actually did die. Frieza killed Piccolo, alright? That's the first thing I'm going to get out of the way right now. We'll get to more on that here shortly. So the episode actually starts out with some promise from Gohan fans, as Gohan is very mad, as expected, very upset at Piccolo's apparent death. Goku and Vegeta are sparring in that mystery dimension. Whis pretty much brings them back and heals them. So apparently now Whis is, to add to the ever-growing list of incredible abilities and power that Whis has, Whis can now heal. Talk about unbeatable. So he checks his staff and he gets the message from Bulma with the parfait. And it's pretty funny because Beerus and Whis both want to crack at that parfait. So Goku and Vegeta are back with Beerus and Whis, and they find out about Frieza being resurrected and that all hell is breaking loose pretty much. So we go back to the battlefield, and Frieza actually gets out of his ship and is prepared to fight. Gohan, however, steps up. This was a huge tease for Gohan fans. Like I said, if you're a Gohan fan, you got to be heartbroken here, because we thought we might see... this is just like when Sapopovich beat up Videl and they teased that Gohan was going to go in there and rip him apart. So they teased Gohan going into one of his classic Dragon Ball Z rages. And he does create a great power-up. He powers up, you know, lots of energy, explosions. I thought maybe he would be able to tap into that ultimate power that I guess... I don't even know what the story is. I might do a video on that separately about that. I have an idea of what happened. Actually, I know what happened, but we'll talk about that in a separate video. But so he powers up and goes SSJ, or maybe SSJ2. And that's enough key for Goku to sense it, teleport there. Goku wants to go back initially, but he can't sense any key. So he has to, once Gohan powers up, he's able to sense that key. So sorry, Gohan fans. He ain't doing shit. Frieza fires the beam at pussy-ass Gohan, and then, of course, Daddy shows up, teleports in, and deflects the beam with a flick of his wrist. It's just funny to me at this point as to how strong Goku and Vegeta are in comparison to Gohan. I mean, Gohan is like the biggest pussy, and it really sucks for Gohan fans. You know, I'm obviously a huge fan of Gohan as well. Not my favorite character, but I know there's a lot of diehard Gohan fans out there that really want this kid to get another shot. And it's just a constant burial left and right. So again, Goku and Vegeta arrive, and they look at Piccolo. It looks like Piccolo is indeed dead. So what happens is Piccolo tells Gohan, okay, we're going to have to... Like, they realize that Frieza was brought back with the Dragon Balls. Goku tells Gohan, gives him a Senzu, and then says, okay, we have to resurrect him with the Namekian Dragon Balls. So what they do is Goku and Vegeta tell Goten and Trunks to take Piccolo up to Dende. So I guess they're going to be going up to Dende for a bit, you know, to take care of his body in the meantime until the battle ends. So very different here with them, with Toei making the decision to kill Piccolo. This, of course, did not happen in the Resurrection F movie. Very different turn of events here. So once Frieza sees Goku, one thing I liked about this episode a lot, I really enjoyed this, is that Frieza recognizes Goku's Shunkan Ido, which is instantaneous movement, the teleportation. Of course, in the dub, it was called instant transmission. I'm not really sure why they even named it that, but it's nonetheless, it's teleportation, instantaneous movement. Frieza recognizes it as being a technique from the Yardrats. So that I like that. I always like when they give that little development to Frieza. He is the emperor of the universe. He's been around forever. So the fact that he knows who the Yardrats are, that's pretty cool. So again, I'm watching the episode. I'm noticing that Frieza's army is still there. So I'm over here thinking that maybe Vegeta and Goku are going to be fighting the army off. So Goku teleports Piccolo away. Goten and Trunks then leave to go talk to Dende, and now we're back to how it was in Resurrection F, except no Piccolo, but no Goten and Trunks either. So Frieza, of course, reminisces on the pain of being in hell, just like in the movie. And the first one to step up to fight is Tagoma, aka Captain Ginyu, who's inside of his body, and Vegeta and Goku are confused about it being Captain Ginyu. You know, obviously they have no idea what's going on. Captain Ginyu Tagoma says, "Let me show you my new power," and Vegeta just rushes in there and blasts him away with one shot with ease. A lot of Vegeta fans like Super JAYAIN were very, very happy at this, and this is actually a monumental moment for the Dragon Ball series, because now, folks, now, according to the Dragon Ball Super TV series canon, if you want to call it that, Vegeta has officially killed all 5 members of the Ginyu Force. All 5 have been killed by Vegeta. Some people have thought that it was kind of a waste of Captain Ginyu, and I just think about it and I'm like, well, it was cool that Tagoma got some shine and Ginyu got some shine. I like that. But damn, I feel bad for Gohan fans. Couldn't Gohan have just rage boosted and killed Captain Ginyu / Tagoma? Couldn't that have been what happened? Of course not. That's not happening with Gohan. But what can you do, guys? I mean, that's how the way Toei's writing it. I guess they really want to hammer home that Gohan ain't shit no more. I mean, he really isn't. But again, Vegeta has now killed all 5 members of the Ginyu Force. Tagoma's gone. Ginyu's gone. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, Ginyu should have just stayed at home. He should have never gotten involved, all right? He would still be alive as a frog if he had just stayed at home or just stayed in the pond or whatever. So Frieza then says that he also has trained, and he goes for his transformation, and it looks really, really good. The animation for this episode, I felt, looked fantastic. I was very impressed. Of course, as I always say, it's not as polished as it was in Resurrection F, the movie, but it's a movie, so what can you do? That's just how it's going to be. More money. Transformation looked great, though. Frieza jumps to his 4th form. I'm a little bit let down because I kind of wanted them in the TV version because they have more time. I wanted them to have Frieza actually transform into all of his forms, 2, 3, like, you know, one after the other. Like, he goes from 1 to 2 to 3 and then cracks and makes the 4th form. We didn't get that, but I think it would have been awesome to see that with the new animation. It could have made it look really, really epic. And Goku could have seen his previous forms for the first time. He had never seen them. I love it. I love it. But they didn't do it. So Frieza left a giant crater during the power-up, and his whole army's dead. So I guess they all died in the explosion. Then Goku and Vegeta pretty much knuckle up, I guess you could say. I'm sorry, Goku and Frieza. Goku tells Vegeta, "I'll take care of him. I will fight since you got Ginyu," and they go face to face, and that's it. And that's how the episode ends. Oh, one more thing too to add to the Gohan burial. Gohan pretty much says, "Had I only kept up with my training, Piccolo wouldn't have died." It's like the writers are purposely making this guy look as bad as possible. But what can you do? Anyways, the episode ends with Goku and Frieza about to square off, and that is it. Looks like next week we're going to get the first part of the fight like in the movie. However, it looks like this version of the fight's going to be different. Of course it is. A lot of hand-to-hand combat in the film version, which I really enjoyed. I like the choreography in the film version. This one appears to be a little bit more with ki blasts and things like that. You know, I'm okay with that. I still wish it would be a little more like the films. I really like that first half of that fight. The episode preview for next week actually ends with Goku going into his Super Saiyan, God Super Saiyan, the blue-haired form. We actually do see it. So yes, we are going to see that form pretty soon. However, I do think that when we see it next week, it's going to be at the end of the episode. Not at the beginning, it'll be at the end of the episode. No signs of Golden Frieza yet, but if you remember from the film, Goku transforms first, and then Frieza transforms. So my prediction is that Goku's going to go SS, God SS, or Super Saiyan Blue, whatever you want to call it. We'll see next week what they call it, or the week after, for sure, like what they actually are going to call it, if they even give it a name. They might not. I mean, it wasn't even given a name in the movie. And then I think he'll show the form at the end of next week's episode, and then the week after is when we're going to see Frieza debut Golden Frieza. So that's it for this week's episode. I thought it was a very eventful episode. I did enjoy watching it. I was very irritated last week because of the changes they were making. With this, I kind of like the changes, although I feel like Piccolo dying was somewhat of a senseless change. but it did kind of, it was a good idea in that it showed off Frieza's new power. So much better than last week, in my opinion. This week, enjoyed the episode. Let me know your thoughts below, of course, and thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all down the road.